everyone, it is getting late in August and I know I haven't posted a video for about a month. So I'm here to let you know I am still alive, I am still crocheting, and I'm going to show you a few things that I have made. Now, one of the reasons why I have not posted is, well, I've just been kind of busy. At the end of July, I went to my mother's 92nd birthday. She doesn't live in California, so that was quite a trip, whirlwind trip, because it took, well, I was gone for about 5 days, and on the way back, oh my goodness, well, they tell you to get to the airport 2 hours early, which, yeah, I don't know if that's really necessary. Anyhow, so I get to the airport, the airport I was initially leaving from, and I'm there 2 hours early, and I find out my next flight, which, well, okay, I'm gonna have to back up because my brain and my tongue aren't always connected. Okay, so my original flight, I get there 2 hours early, and I find out my flight is 2 hours delayed. Now, I had given myself a 2-hour layover at my next stop, which was Las Vegas, so that I could make sure I got to my gate in time, because when you land in Las Vegas, they tend to land you at one end of the terminal, and those terminals are like a mile long, and you know, you're trying to get to the other end of the terminal. So I left myself a 2-hour time layover. So I'm waiting in the airport and waiting. I was like a 4-hour wait. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I'm not going to make my connecting flight. Then it turned out that the flight in Las Vegas was delayed because there was a big fire that was like stretched over part of Nevada and part of California. And so the airport was just engulfed in smoke, so that flight was delayed 2 hours. And anyhow, I finally got home, much later than I thought, but I got home. Yay! So that was one thing that happened, and just, I had done so much crochet in preparation for going on that trip, and I just came back and I really didn't have any projects to do that were pressing, and so I've sort of been wandering a bit as far as, you know, what I want to do next. So, but I can show you 2 Zabez projects. The first one I couldn't show you before I left because it wasn't public yet, but it is public now. And this is Orchid Ollie. And you can see these orchids on the head. Now, I will link the pattern for Orchid Ollie below. If for nothing else, buy the pattern just for the orchids. And maybe you can use the orchids in like a flower arrangement or something if you do crocheted flowers, because these orchids are gorgeous. And they're just really well constructed and planned. However, I will say that after a while it becomes kind of, I don't want to say chore, but difficult to find a place to weave in your ends because you have so many ends to weave in. So anyways, that's Orchid Ollie, and like I say, I will put the pattern link below. And this next one is actually a free pattern I got from Zabez, because after he does a whole batch of them, he will allow all his testers to choose one free pattern from all his patterns. So I happen to not get into this particular test on time, and I thought it was so cute, and so I said I'd like that free pattern. And this is Bee Betty. So she's a little queen bee. So there's that. Then before I left on the trip, I kind of got off track a little bit with some of the crochet. I was like not wanting to work on what I needed to work on, so I just made some bunch of granny squares, the double strand granny squares, and I thought, well, I'll just eventually have enough, I'll put together a blanket. So I came back and I just finally decided I would put together that blanket. And I'm not going to unroll or unravel the whole thing, but this is it. And it's mostly greens and blues. It's quite heavy. And I just put on a simple shell border. And I just do the quick and easy single crochet, sewing all the squares together. But first I outline all the squares in the color that I'm going to be joining all the squares with. So I'd already bought 5 skeins of Caron Simply Soft because it takes me more than 4, but not a complete 5th. And so I did that. And then I was like sort of aimless again on my crochet, which is sort of where I am right now, but I decided I have so many little pieces of yarn like this that I need to put them into another double strand granny square blanket. That's a great fast way to use up like leftover yarn from a project. So what I've been doing, I have this crazy idea, and I will just show you a couple of squares, but I don't have any more Caron Simply Soft, and it's just not in my budget right now to buy more, besides the fact that I have a ton of yarn. So this particular blanket is not going to be sewn together with Caron Simply Soft. It's just going to have a more regular yarn. And so I kind of had this idea to make something that looked pseudo stained glass. So I'm doing squares that are outlined in black. So yeah, here we go. And also I had some old squares that I had made that just didn't match anything. I was not interested in making a blanket that matched them. And I thought, you know what, I could put them in a blanket that, okay, here's one of them. Looked a little Christmassy. I wasn't going to do a Christmas blanket. So I said, you know, I'll just make a stained glass blanket. So that's kind of what I'm thinking and what I'm working on right now, is making squares for that. I generally make like 35 squares for a blanket, so they're 5 by 7, and each square when it's outlined is about 8 inches by 8 inches, and then you put the border on. It comes to approximately 45 inches wide, and I don't know how much long, but it's just going to be donated anyways. So that's kind of where I'm at. I have 15 squares made. I have 20 more to go, and we'll see where that all works out. Anyways, that's like my crochet for the moment. Not too much else is happening with the crochet. Zaba is just very quiet right at the moment, so I'm waiting for a new test to come out to see if I want to do that test or not. I didn't do the last test because I was visiting my mother, and we'll see what the next one brings. As far as the garden, nothing much is going on right now. I have in the past cut a lot of tomatoes and zucchini, but then I kind of let the zucchini plant get out of control, and so the leaves grew big and things weren't getting pollinated because the leaves are blocking the flowers from getting pollinated. And I've cut that back, but now I have a whole bunch of unpollinated little zucchinis that just, you know, they get about 3 or 4 inches and they just rot right on the plant. So, yeah, that's that. And I have pruned a whole bunch of stuff, even though it's probably not the right time to prune things, but I felt like things were getting a little unruly on some of my trees and they were growing in directions I didn't want them to grow. So that's that. So I know this is a short video. I don't know when my next video will be, but I just thought I'd pop in and say hello. I'm still alive. I do watch your videos. I try to comment when I can. I've discovered it's very difficult to comment when I'm on my cell phone. Anyhow, that's it for this video. I hope you all have a great rest of the week, and I will talk to you sometime in the future. Bye-bye.